Hi, Academy Square owners. This is Lori Mofield coming to you from my office at Benchmark Realty. I appreciate you scanning the QR code to maybe see a little bit more of what I'm about and how I came to be involved with Academy Square. Before I was a realtor, I worked as a City of Mount Juliet Planning and Zoning Administrator. And that gave me a really good opportunity and understanding to learn about the processes of development from the beginning idea to concept plan to final approved plat. I worked there for several years until then I got into real estate. I currently have a multi-million-dollar development going on in Wilson County, and it started similar to what I'm proposing with Academy Square. A property came up, 10.8 acre tract, and I won the listing agreement. And once I did that, then the work started. So I did the investigation, excuse me, and started looking at the plans, the plats, the surveys, went in and looked at the zoning maps, the land use plans. Nothing was comping out. And when we run comps, we typically look at like properties and that sold in the last 6 to 12 months. There really wasn't a lot out there. But I felt like what was coming up was not enough. So I went out to the property and took a look at all the area attributes. It was on the western border of Amazon. It was close to a unused pumping station. And there were several areas around the property that were not developed. So I went back, I looked up all the maps and reached out by letter, similar to what I did a couple months ago with y'all, and just said, hey, I think that if we come together collectively and put this property on the market, that we can attract a nice developer to come in and make us an offer. I spoke with the city, and with my experience in zoning, I was able to kind of identify what would work there. So they agreed. We selected a price and we put it on the commercial platform. We got a lot of interest. We are currently negotiating with a developer out of Minnesota who has provided us with a memorandum of understanding that gives him the ability to come up with a concept plan, present it to the city to get a warm and fuzzy. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you want changes? So that's where we are there, and I am hopeful to have a contract in the next month or so. So that's working out well. So fast forward to Academy Square. I have a friend who has a condo there, and she has been thinking about selling. And when we were talking about the reasons behind it and stuff, she said that she's aware the property is aging, built in the 80s, and things are starting to fail. So there may be some assessments in the future, and she didn't know if it was going to be financially smart for her to stay. And she said, I bet there are others that way because, the perimeter wall and stuff. And she said, I bet some others would want to sell. And I was going, oh, really? And I think she was thinking that maybe I could reach out and perhaps get some business. What I was thinking is Academy Square is in a perfect location to really benefit for the sale of the area as a whole, right? And so I went back to her and I said, listen, I said, I would love to represent you, but I think that we can do better than what I comped out at $450,000 condo unit. So let me look and see what I can come up with, and let me reach out to all the owners before we move forward. And she agreed. That was 3 months ago. So I started doing my investigation. The interesting part of what's going on now in Nashville, first of all, Nashville is very receptive to commercial business. I think we're number 6 in the nation that commercial companies want to come to. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the East Bank concept plan with affordable housing, commercial mixed use, and permanent residences. And they're even talking about having a separate governing area for this location. But the pivotal thing for me was the location and proximity of Academy Square to the new stadium. And it might be within walking distance. That's the golden goose right there, I think. So, based on the proximity to the East Bank, being in Nashville, close to the stadium, I think now is a perfect time for everybody to come together and let's sell this. And sell it for a lot more than what you could get individually. What I'm thinking, okay, so a couple years ago, y'all were approached by a developer, right? The developer's representative or realtor came to y'all and said, hey, my client wants to buy it. I don't recall the price, but say it was $10 million. So he comes in, he says, I want to buy it for $10 million if everybody wants to sell. And I'd be going, $10 million? Darn, that's more money than I've ever seen. And then I know the vote didn't pass, but using that as an example, $10 million sounds good on the onset, but when you have to divide it between 50 people and then expenses that go with it, it's not as pretty as it was on the onset. And the control is totally the developer. Their realtor was not there representing you. They could have facilitated, but they were representing the developer. They wanted to get the developer the best price that they could. That's not in your best interest. I come to it as a listing agent. Let's come together collectively, sign listing agreements, put it out on the commercial platform unpriced, have all the landowners agree to this is the minimum that we'll accept. So we put it out on the commercial platform, the developers come to us and they start taking a look at the valuation and what they can offer. But I believe that the location of the property is going to bring in multiple developers. And who knows where that's going to go. I have some connections, so I reached out to 3 developers, just trying to make an inquiry to see if this was a viable idea, right? I didn't want to come to y'all and nothing. So I had 3 that I talked to. They're very interested. They want me to contact them as soon as it's a go, as soon as we know that the majority of owners are ready to talk to a developer. I also have one international developer who is also kind of waiting to see what happens. I reached out to a civil engineer that I've worked with for, I can't believe, 20 years now. And he is also waiting. He would be the engineer that I would recommend to any developer coming in once he's made an offer and it's been accepted. So what I'm saying with all this is the control comes back to the sellers, not the developer. We're tempting them, we're enticing them to come and give us the best price, but the control remains with you. Collectively, yay or nay on a price point, right? So it's my hope that you'll consider this. Maybe give me a shot, trust me, with what could be one of the best returns on investment that any of us have ever seen. So if you have any questions, give me a call. You should have my card. And I look forward to working with you. I thank you so much for your time and happy spring.